So one of the benefits of having daughters is they get into clothing, and that's cool because like Mr. Soap and Clay, he tries, but ultimately he doesn't really care. But they super do. They care about fashion and all the things. And I am like loving all of the excellent like clothing that they got me for Christmas. And it's cozy and it's cute and it's warm, and they've got good style. And so, that has nothing to do with the poor at all today. I'm appreciative of my clothing and my daughters for existing and all of the things. And I'm going to tell you what the pour today is in just a moment. But before I do so, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 281 of 365 days of soap, and today is Georgia May's turn to do the teardrop pour. Now, we're using the same oil blend and the same scent blend that we used yesterday, so the Harlequin Romance from Nurture Soap, and she's switching up the colors. She has also watched the tutorials and looked through all of the stuff, so she knows what to do. She's never done a teardrop before. This is her brand new, very first time ever doing one, and yeah, it could go either way. The teardrop is actually one of the ones that I think I talked about yesterday. It can be kind of a complicated pour, and it's all about that batter fluidity. And I have had many fails with teardrop pours in my life over the years, for sure. And Georgia May is good at all of the things, for sure. So it's very unlikely that she's going to fail. So let's go check it out. Check out her pour, her process, all of the jazz, and we can talk about it there. Okay, it is time for the Soaprentice to tackle the Amy Warden Soaps Challenge, the teardrop, from like 6 years ago, because we're doing some rewinds. We are going through all of Amy Warden soap challenges, and we're making them all. We are watching the videos, we are downloading the tutorials, we are doing it the way that the one, the only, the incomparable Amy Warden says we should. So that is what we are doing today. And Georgia May is doing the teardrop. I did it yesterday. The scent blend is the same as well as the oil blend. Now with this, we do have a slow moving oil. I didn't actually talk about that in yesterday's video. We do have a slow moving oil recipe. So this is my current swirls mix, which is good because as I talked about yesterday in the you're not quite there, but the batter is kind of thick. It's interesting. She must be soaping cool. Now, I did talk about yesterday the video yesterday that the teardrop actually is the consistency of the batter is very important, and so you want to get it to an emulsion and then work it to a light trace, and really nothing thicker than that to do your pours. Otherwise, you will. If it's too thin, you will end up with the problems that I had yesterday with the teardrop, wherein it just became a big old acrylic pour looking mess and everything was going everywhere. Or you will end up with it being, if your batter's too thick, you will end up with, it not looking like a teardrop at all. And the batter as you continue, the soap as you continue to layer your stripes, your ribbons of color, one over the other, will not actually bloom out into like a bulb on the bottom that you can then zip up into, a teardrop shape. So the consistency of the batter is key, for sure. And because it is key, we are working with our swirls mix right now, which is a 50% solid oils, 50% liquid. And the liquid oils are very slow moving. So we have olive, we have rice bran, we have apricot, and argan in this that make up 50%, all of the liquid oils. That's all of them. And the 50% of the solid oil is coconut and babesu. So slow moving batter for sure. And she put in Georgia May put in the kaolin clay dispersed in water, and it definitely loosened up the batter again. It was going to do that anyway because, again, she's soaping cool, and so she's hitting that little thing that people like to call false trace, because you could see that it wasn't emulsified, although it was still, you know, thickish. So, yes, all the things. Now, the scent blend that we're using, it's the same that we used yesterday with the Harlequin Romance thing from Nurture, with the thing that I couldn't I couldn't remember, or I couldn't pronounce, the labdanum, labdanum. Yep. I'm gonna stop saying that because I'm just sounding crazy right now. But I had never heard of this, like, ever, and so I did look it up because, I mean, I guess I probably should have looked up how to pronounce it. I didn't do that. That didn't happen. Would have been smarter if I had done that. But the reason that I've never heard of it is because I actually know it by a different name. I know it by cistus oil. And that makes more sense for sure. I didn't know that this was, yes. So this is actually a resin that gets, you know, we do essential oils with, and it smells like all kinds of things. It smells like pine, it smells like leather, it smells like tobacco, it smells like, you know, wet socks, all at the same time without smelling like the same, like any of those things specifically, right? It's a very interesting essential oil, and I almost never use it. And so, again, I don't have it marketed as labdanum. Labdanum, we're gonna go with labdanum. Boom, baby. I have it as a cistus oil. So there's that. Learned something new today, which I think everybody should do every day. Learn something new, and that was my new thing that I learned today. So yay. Still didn't learn how to pronounce it, so I'll do that next. That'll be the thing that I learn tomorrow. But all of these pieces here, the soap batter here, it all looks really good. That's a good consistency. It's definitely thicker than mine was yesterday, but not thick. It's nice. This is going to work out really well. This is a really good consistency for this batter. The perfect fluidity. And yeah, so let's go check out the pouring of this guy and see what Georgia May is working with for her awesome teardrop, which has, you know, those are cute colors. Let's go see. And on to the pour, and look at that. Do you see how her batter has gotten thicker? Okay, here's why. So she made this soap, did the thing. She got all the batter separated and colored and scented and all the jazz. Sure. And then I had 10 minutes that I had to cut out of this, out of the footage that she sent me, wherein literally nothing was happening in the footage. Like nothing, there was no motion, there's no movement, because she had to go help a customer. And so she got to this point and then needed to go check customers out. And she was gone for 10 minutes as a result. And as a result, everything kind of thickened up. Now, I have not ever actually had the conversations with Georgia May about ways to loosen up batter when it gets kind of overly thick, because she's never had a reason, there's never been a reason to. She's never had really any real issues with it. And so now, you know, I will have the conversation, but I'll also tell you, at this point, if I had gone back to, because leaving the soap on the counter to go check out a customer is not new. That happens multiple times a day. We are always making soap and there are always customers. It's all a thing. And when that happens, and I actually critically need a soap batter to be a thinner consistency than what I come back to, I add some sodium lactate to it, and that loosens up the batch really nicely, loosens up the batter really nicely, long enough to do the pour that you want to do. And as a secondary side of awesome, sodium lactate also helps the bar firm up faster, and so it will release from the mold better. I don't use it for that. I literally only have it on hand for those moments when I get pulled away to check out a customer and to ring up a customer, and then I come back and the soap is too thick. This soap right here, a little bit too thick. You see how that pink line did not really push out the copper underneath? It did sort of. It super did sort of, but not going to be enough for this pour to like really work the right way. And you know, that sucks. You see how it's not, it's creating more volume there. It's like sort of essentially making like a triangle in the middle of the soap instead of flattening out the colors underneath it and pushing those colors to the sidewalls. And so that's never going to do the teardroppy thing, which sucks. And I don't think she knows it right now. I think she's super duper excited and it's going to be awesome and everything's rocking and rolling. And I don't think she really gets what it is that this is ultimately going to be. And she's doing such a beautiful job with the pouring, like so good. She's being so careful with all of the, you know, whatever. And look, she's stirring her thing between, and that was, I think, something that Amy Warden had actually said in her tutorial. Stir your colored portions, your accent colors, between each, you know, pass to make sure that they haven't thickened up. Loosen up the batter a little bit. Pretty sure she said that. So Georgia's doing that, and it's awesome, and it's all working out. And it looks like it might work out. But again, because she's building volume in the middle there, instead of the intended consequence, because what you really want is you want the batter underneath to be thin enough to sort of move with the colors in the middle, and you know, the batter in the middle to be thick enough, heavy enough to move to sort of push the main color to the side, dropping down into the main color as the colored portion starts to, the accent portion starts to thicken out toward the sidewalls. And it's doing that like to a point, right? But the secondary problem is it's not actually pushing the batter underneath. It's just building up on itself and sort of pushing itself out, this batter here. And to that, sodium lactate may not have helped that, because that also means that the soap that is in the mold, it would have helped it actually, because she hadn't poured the main body in until she came back to, you know, the soap counter to paint, or to soap to pour. Wow, words and things. And look how thick that got. Yes, this would have benefited from some sodium lactate in all parts, honestly. Surely, for sure, in the white part though, because it's a little bit too thick. You want it to be a nice, fluid, seamless, beautiful zipping up of the soap batter, and she's just not going to get that in the effect that is required for it to be a teardrop. That said, I'm sure the soap is still going to be beautiful. The colors are great. The scent blend is fun. It's still going to be a great, I mean, the actual oils that are put into it, that is a lovely blend. It has a great lather. It's moisturizing. It's all the things. It's just not, it's not going to be a teardrop. I'm calling that right now. And I don't actually know whether or not it's going to be yet, because I am not cutting this bar. This is Georgia May's bar, and I have not seen that footage yet. It is still downloading as I'm editing and chit-chatting about this one. So I don't, but yeah, I'm not seeing a teardrop. I'm not envisioning that a teardrop is going to exist in this. And I'm actually going to text Georgia May right now, and I'm going to ask her what she thought of her cut, because I haven't talked to her about it yet. So let's see what Miss Georgia May says for this, and you know, then we'll talk about that in the cut itself after it downloads. But yeah, this soap batter, it's too thick for a teardrop. It's not too thick for any number of other things, but it's too thick for a teardrop, and that's okay. Actually, I am kicking myself right now, because I I haven't like taught her that little trick because again, she's never had a reason to have soap batter be a specific consistency and that consistency be annoying. Like that's the name of the consistency. Annoying. Annoying. And you get it for maybe 3 minutes before it gets thick and past annoying. So, you know, filing that away, we will do some experiments so she can, you know, put that in her soapy repertoire for sure. But yeah, this is still going to be an actual awesome batch of soap. And actually, this is reminding me of the first 4 soaps that I made for when I was doing teardrops. And so I'm actually going to put some pictures on the screen right now so you can see that, because I think that would be fun. So these pictures are, there's my first attempt, and it's a too thick batter. I had a Tinkerbell line with all of these because you have to do something with them. They're no longer teardrops, and so you do something else. And these are from, and there's take 2, still too thick. These were from back in 2016, so saith the screenshots that I took from my back end of the website. There's take 3, and it's a thinner batter, but I'm shaky on the pouring. And take 4, yeah, the lilacs. It's better, but it ultimately was still too thin. So yeah, this is definitely something that for sure the texture of the soap super matters. And so I think, you know, I'm certain that this whole thing will be wonderful with all of the things, because it's still going to be a beautiful soap, but you're likely going to see something similar to the first 2 pictures that I put on the screen, because that's what happens with overly thick soap batter. You sort of ended up with, you end up with all kinds of things. I mean, I had like an agate line once because I got a wild hair and decided that I wanted to try teardrops again, and it didn't work. And so, but they all looked like agates. They totally looked like, yeah. And so I think, yeah, no, that was after the Tinkerbell line for sure. So, I mean, it still ends up beautiful soap. It's just not a teardrop. And as long as nobody knows that that's what you're going for, like, don't name it teardrop. If it's not a teardrop, it's fine. Like yesterday's, it's totally going to be a seahorse bar, right? Like it's not gonna be a teardrop. That's not. No, I mean, for the website, I'm obviously putting it up as teardrop because otherwise you guys will get confused. Although maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just rename it and like confuse everyone, or just like get the link from the video. That works out too. But yeah, so she's using the rest of her batter here, which actually more of that should have gone into the middle of the bar, like pretty significantly more. You can see just how much is left over. It's whatever's going on inside, it will not be a teardrop, and it will also be a very tiny thing, which is cute. It's like you remember the Friends episode when they decided that they were going to go get tattoos, and so I don't remember who it was. I think it was Phoebe and Rachel, and I think Phoebe got like the world from really far away, right? It was just a dot because it hurt and it was whatever. That's what it is. It can be like the world inside of the soap from really far away as viewed from a distance. That could be the thing, and it will also be awesome. So yeah, way too much soap batter ended up on top of this because she did not actually pour out much more than I did for the interior, which means she needed more passes with her colors, but she really couldn't get more passes with her colors because again, it was building up in volume in the middle, like creating like a triangle, and not super, well, it wasn't doing what it was supposed to. So she really couldn't put any more in the middle. So I get it for sure, but you know, again, it's still going to be absolutely stunning, and it's exciting and all of the things. And I still don't actually know if she knows that there's a problem here. And so we're going to watch her clean everything off. She's going to put it into the oven for C-pop and gel so we can get the cut footage, because again, that's still downloading and I'm still waiting for her to to talk to me, to respond to my text, and we'll see what she has to say about her opinions of the pour. So let's go, we'll wait for that, and then we'll go to the next slide, you know, when I get it. So on to the cut, that footage downloaded, and Georgia May did respond. So I am back to talk about this, and she told me her opinions on the soap after she had cut it, because I, you know, mentioned, I was like, hey, you didn't send me a picture of your cut, how'd it go? And she said, I did that on purpose, it's loading, and they all look like, she's so excited, oh God, oh sweetie, oh, editing me feels so bad for past Georgia. And that's what she said. She said, they look like little witches' hats, which is actually cute. And they totally do look like little witches' hats. That's, oh gosh. And they're small, right? That's very, very small with that. So again, it needs much more color in the middle. So again, 2 ounces per color for a batch this size, which is like a 3-pound batch. So yeah, she's not happy. Oh God, seriously, editing me feels so bad for past Georgia. Like, this is all, oh. But again, you saw my cuts, and so at this point, when she told me that, and I actually saw this footage, it finally downloaded, I sent it to her. And I sent to her all of the 4 screenshots that I just put on the screen about my 4 bars. And I'm like, it's okay. Don't feel bad. These were my first attempts. Like, it's a hard pour for sure. And, you know, mine sucked. So, yeah, Teardrop. It's not... I'm not going to go so far as to say teardrops are stupid. Like I say, pull-throughs are stupid. Because I actually do really love the teardrop, or trying to continue to make the perfect one all the time. So we might revisit this, because I think this is probably bothering us both, that we didn't end up with awesome teardrops in this, and we sort of failed a soap challenge, which is not good. But you know, for now, that is Georgia May's attempt at the teardrop, and we're starting to be annoyed with Amy Warden's challenges. Yeah, so when she sent me a picture of her cut, she was like, they look like little witches' hats. And she was totally, you know, happy, like excited about that. And so that's awesome. I don't think she overall liked the design of the soap. As far as a teardrop goes, yeah, that wouldn't be one that you would actually submit to the soap challenge. But as I showed you in the video, been there a lot. So many not teardrop, you know, bars for sure. And so it's all a learning curve. It's all a process. This is one of those soaps that you definitely would not put in your line on the regular and have people always expecting insert, you know, scent blend here to always look like a teardrop, because you're not always going to get it. That's actually you have to make a lot of batches for it to actually be a proper teardrop at all times. I personally love the color design she did with it. I love the scent blend. I love her little witch hats. They're all cute. So they're definitely still saleable bars, very adorable, but probably not something you would submit to the soap challenge. But they are adorable and they perform beautifully and they're awesome. So if you are interested in them, you can totally find them on the website at soapandclay.com right now. They're there with mine, same listing, drop down, select which one you like better. Yes, as far as all the rest of the soap challenges that we may be doing for Amy Warden Soap Challenge, you should subscribe to the channel and you will see when we do another one. So that would be cool. For those of you who are subscribed to the channel, hey, thanks for being subscribed. You're cool and awesome and I love you. And that does it for me for today. I am out of here. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.